Hello, 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 and welcome to the second ever podcast for GoRacing Sim. We call this the official podcast for the OPC. This is Kevin Rupert here along with Ken. Say hi, Ken.
Hello, Kevin. How are you doing tonight?
I figured you were going to say hi, Ken, again. I was hoping that would become a regular thing.
I could do that, but that's old already.
All right. Well, tonight we're going to review. We just finished up our race at Lime Rock, so we're going to go through and we'll do a review of Lime Rock. We'll talk a little bit about our next race coming up, which is Watkins Glen. But before we jump into that, the one thing I wanted to cover real quick is talking a little bit about the teams aspect that we're shooting for in this league. Didn't realize it, but there's apparently a little confusion about what we mean when we say teams. And as I think about it, I understand where this comes from, because a lot of people think of the teams in IMSA as the driver change, the driver swap, which is what we do when you do like a 24-hour an endurance race. Well, when we say teams here, we're not talking about driver swaps. Simply, we're talking about taking the points from two different cars that are part of a team and adding them together and coming up with a total point at the end, and the team with the most points at the end wins. So
it's like Tony Stewart Racing, the Hendrick Motorsports, and if you follow the NASCAR scene, basically something like that.
Yeah, exactly. The only difference is we're letting you have anything from 2 to 4 people on a team, but only 2 cars' points will count every race. That's the big difference there. But yeah, exactly. So if there is some confusion, just wanted to clear that up. But also it's important to point out that we have to declare teams this week, because the teams officially will begin next week. That's when, by the way, we are retroactively counting the points, though. So once the teams are declared next week, I will go back into races 1 and 2 and give the team their points. So we're going to do it for the whole season. We're not dropping anything on the teams race. But I do encourage everybody to get together in teams. It's just an extra thing for fun. We're giving out an extra trophy. So why the hell not do it, right? Right, Ken?
Oh, definitely. I think it'd be a lot more fun, and it's going to give more people a chance to win a championship.
Exactly. So you'll have I'll be the slow guy on the team that maybe my my points will help enough to get maybe at least a podium for the team. We'll see.
That's right.
Okay, so Ken, let's go ahead and move on and talk about Lime Rock. That little bitty track is a lot of fun, a lot of work. I'm still sweating. It's a tight track. It's fast, but it's very narrow. We had a really good race. We had 3 or 4 people had some issues running off, maybe hitting the wall, but overall it was a really good race. I think 2 races in a row, Ken, and I know we haven't done the full Carnage report, but I don't know that anybody got into anybody in this race just like last week.
I don't believe anyone did either. Luckily, that hasn't happened yet, and glad to see it. So these guys are taking care of each other out there, and that's what this league is about. We want to have nice fun racing out there. Yeah, we want to race hard. We don't want to, knock each other out though. So, but it's great to see clean racing between all the gentlemen out here.
Yeah, I mean, I made this reference last week. It's kind of like golf in a way, right? In golf, the lower the better. That's what I said last week. Well, in this case, in golf, you play the golf course more than you play who you're competing against, and that's kind of the case here. It's you race the track, and everybody's been very respectable, getting out of the way when they need to get out of the way. Totally appreciate that. That's what we're looking for. Good racecraft, and it looks like we have a really good core group of guys here. I say guys because we don't have any females as of now, but they're more than welcome to join. But we have a good group here that has been racing very clean, and it seems like we're having a lot of fun, and I do appreciate everybody racing each other clean and keeping the radio quiet in terms of complaints. That might be why we don't know if anybody got into anyone, by the way. Okay. Ken, what's your thoughts about the race?
Well, like you said, it's a short track. We turned 65 laps in 1 hour. So we're running, 54, 55-second laps. So it's a lot of laps in 1 hour on a road course. So you're busy out there.
Yeah, it's like I said, I was sweating afterwards. I had to turn the fan on. It's a small track, but man, you're just clicking. You're turning the laps. Lots of turns. We added the 2 chicanes, which that was the conversation after the race, right? Was the 2 chicanes. You heard some people say the first chicane they couldn't figure out, and then you had a whole other group of people saying the second chicane they couldn't figure out. I jokingly said that was Shane's fault as we were talking, but actually it was a good decision. I think it gave us more opportunity to have areas where some people were good and areas where some people weren't. Like you and I, Ken, we were nose to tail the entire race, and I was definitely better in the first chicane, but as I said, you always pulled away from me exiting the second chicane. So it was really really fun and made for some good racing.
Yes, it did. It's a lot of fun, and but there was a lot of great racing throughout the whole race. Shane was trying to put some pressure on Michael Blackner during that race, and Michael was concerned about it, and but it made everyone look at their relative screen and look in the rearview mirrors to see where the guy behind him was. But there was some pretty good racing throughout that whole field tonight.
Yeah, now one of the problems we're having, so just so everybody knows, we're doing this podcast right after the race because I'm leaving tomorrow for a vacation, so Ken and I can't get together. And usually what our goal is to review the whole race, both of us watch it, and then we can come up with our move of the race as well as our bad luck moment of the race. Without actually reviewing the race, Ken, I'm not sure that we can right now at this moment give out the move of the race unless you've seen something that you can think of.
I have not seen anything that really rings a bell, but yeah, I have gone through a carnage report, so I have gone through the race, but I have not been able to really capture anything for a great move of the race tonight.
Yeah, and I will work on the video tomorrow, and that's probably when I will see what I think is the move of the race. So we will give out the move of the race, but we just won't do it during the podcast because, unfortunately, maybe we'll do it next week. We'll come back and say, by the way, for Lime Rock, this was the move of the race. But we did have an agreement on the bad luck moment of the race. Ken, do you want to address that?
Yeah, lap 18, Bill Fedoruk was doing great. He was running top 3 at the time, and just put 2 tires on the grass a little bit and stuffed her in the wall. He was fast in practice, qualified excellent, was racing really good, and just a momentary lapse, and it costed him a race and put him multi-laps down after that.
Yeah, he qualified third, and he was running 54s, mid 54s, so he was very fast. And as he was saying on the radio, unfortunately, he had 12 minutes of optional.
Yeah.
And when he chose not to fix the optional, it was basically driving. It was like a crab, right? It was driving sideways. So
it was driving sideways. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's that turn. What is that, turn 3? That is an easy turn to mess up. And if you do, that wall it jumps right out. I came very, very, very close to hitting it myself. And I think a couple other people hit the wall there too. But starting third, being that fast, and then hitting the wall, and it dropped him all the way down to 10th. And he was 8 laps down. No, I'm sorry. He was 46 laps down. No, I'm looking at this wrong again. He was 19 laps down. Sorry. So That still is, I agree with you. I think that's the bad luck moment of the race, and maybe better luck next time.
Yeah, there's other honorable mentions out there. Derek Wynn had a few X's, got into a couple wrecks, and over-X'd and was disqualified for getting too many X's during the race. And I know John struggled a little bit again tonight, and but he's improving, and in the next couple of weeks he's going to be a good competitor out there.
Yeah, and I didn't have a chance to go back and look, but Herman also was really fast. He was running mid-54s as well, and something happened to him that obviously knocked him out because he ended up disconnecting as well. So another fast driver that suffered some unfortunate consequence.
Yeah, unlucky, but hey, they got next week, and I think they're going to be great runners out there, and we're going to have our hands full trying to stay in front of them.
Yep. So one of the things we're going to start doing is we're going to start doing interviews for the race, and we're going to put them on the podcast, and we'll probably eventually start doing the podium. So we'll interview first, second, and third. But for this race, we did have an interview. So Ken is our pit road reporter, and he's interviewing the race winner, at least for now, and maybe, like I said, the whole podium going forward. But he did have an interview with Michael Blackner, so we'll go ahead and we'll roll the interview now, and you can hear what Michael had to say.
All right. Congratulations goes to our winner tonight. That's Michael Blackner. Michael, great job tonight. Tell us about your race tonight.
Thank you, Ken. It was a challenge. I mean, it might have looked easy out on track, but Honestly, the last 20 minutes, I started getting tunnel vision, just going around over and over it with. I hate to say it. I was waiting for Shane to catch me. I He would catch up, he'd fall back. I was waiting for him to catch up, and then we'd have a battle. It didn't happen, but he he had me running scared. Honestly, that's all I could say.
Yeah, Shane's a good competitor. He's going to push you hard, and he doesn't make too many mistakes. So you always have to be careful with Shane behind you and all that. I see you had quickest lap of 54.42 tonight. That's flying right along. You also won qualifying tonight. Car must have been working just perfect for you then tonight.
Yeah, I it was good. I really don't know what to say about it. I mean, it felt a little tight in the first 2 or 3 turns there. I didn't get as much front grip as I wanted to. I found a rhythm finally going through the S's there with the turtles. And once I got into that rhythm, it was just a matter of getting that second chicane down there. And I thought I found the fastest line through there, but there was a couple of times I was worried I was going to put 2 tires off. And I remember what happened to Mike Fredrickson in one of the practice races about a month this month. Yeah, sorry, long day. About a month ago, and he barely went off track with that, and he ended up getting a 40-second penalty. So every time we went through that second chicane there, each lap I was on edge, just hoping I didn't go too far over the edge.
Michael, we don't know a whole lot about you. Can you tell us a little bit about your iRacing career?
Yeah. So more or less, my sim racing career as a whole, I started with guys at FTSR way back in '06 when that came to be. I didn't really come to iRacing full time until about 17, 18. I was hit and miss with the service, doing a little bit here and there through the early 10s. Uh, Most of my experience with the GT3 cars, to be honest, has come down to just doing those iRacing special events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Sebring, etc. Before doing all those, I had a little experience with the cars, but not a lot, mostly in other sims. But I'd say most of my experience outside of NASCAR stuff has just been purely in these cars.
All right. Well, again, I want to congratulate you on a great win tonight, dominating this race with leading 63 of the 65 laps that were competed tonight. So, anybody you'd like to thank and all that, teammates or anything?
I'd just like to thank my girlfriend for supporting me in doing this. I know she'd rather me spend time with her, but it's one of the few things I get to do outside of work at this point, which I hate to say it, and I know there's going to be a lot of guys that might be relieved to hear this when I say it, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be a full time or part time schedule with this season yet because my work schedule has changed. So I may miss a few races throughout the season. I'm hoping to make at least half or 3/4 of them, but there may be some races I don't make, and you'll definitely have some better battles going on when I'm not going into these races. All the guys here are fast. I gotta admit, Chris, I was hoping to see him tonight. Hope he's doing all right. Shane, Bill, there's quite a few guys here. Just they're giving me a run for my money. There's no question, and I'm enjoying the battling. There's a lot of good guys here.
Well, that's great to hear, Michael. Wish you the best on your job and all that. Hopefully, we get to see you quite a few of the weeks. We'd love to have you every week. You're a hell of a competitor, and I love racing against you and all that. So, but tonight's winner, Michael Blackner, here 1 hour at Lime Rock.
All right, great job there, Ken. Good job with the interview.
Thanks. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I've raced against Michael in another league and all that, and always enjoyed racing against him. And he's one hell of a road course racer, though, man. He's top notch.
Yeah, he is. I would agree. He's showing his ability right now. I would like to see Chris get back and race against him. I think him and Chris are going to have a good rivalry, to be honest with you.
Oh, it's going to be fun watching those two during the season, and hopefully, hopefully Michael's work schedule works out with him that we can see him on a lot of these Thursday nights.
And I tell you what, don't overlook Shane as well. Shane is he's fast and he's just going to get better because he's new at this stuff, and he immediately took to the road course racing. So I'm not overlooking Shane. I think by the end of the season, he's going to be somebody to contend with.
Definitely. And hey, look at Bill. This was his first race with us tonight, and Doug Argabright. Hey, there's some good drivers out here. That man, we got our hands full out here with some great drivers.
Yeah, and one thing I want to do really fast is go over kind of some of the bonuses that we gave out this week. So just really quick. So Doug and Shane both tied with 0 incident points. So they're both getting 10 bonus points for finishing without any incidents whatsoever. Michael finished getting 5 bonus points for the pole, 5 for leading 1 lap, 5 for leading the most laps, and 1 for leading or for having the fastest lap. Felix and I actually tied for the most position gained. We both gained 4 positions. And Ken, I do want to thank you for that 1 position you gave me on the last lap, by the way.
Yeah. Well, just being a good person, I felt bad for you that I was beating you most of the race, and I just could not see holding you up anymore, I guess.
Yeah, you weren't really holding me up, and you know that. By the way, Shane also got 5 more points for leading a lap. So bonus points are really big. Those are a lot. Doug, that's 2 races in a row. He's received 20 bonus points for having clean races. So, and he finished 3rd today. By the way, the top 3 was Michael, Shane, and Doug. So that was your podium. Great job by all of them. So Michael got 16 bonus points and finished 1st. Shane got 15 bonus points, finished 2nd. And Doug got 10 bonus points, and he finished 3rd. So great job for everybody on the podium. All right, Ken. So next week, we're going to move out to Watkins Glen. And this is going to be this 12-week season, we have 2 races that are going to be longer than the others. Most of our races are 1 hour apiece, but we do have 2 that are 1 hour and 15 minutes. And next week, Watkins Glen is one of those races. I will not be there, but you will, Ken. So what are your thoughts about Watkins Glen?
Well, Watkins Glen is a fun track. A lot of us who did come up in the NASCAR ranks raced Watkins Glen a lot with the NASCAR series and all that. So the transition from NASCAR to these cars is big, but at least we know the track layout, we know the braking points and all that, and it's a small adaptation in order to get this car fast. But to me, it's a lot easier track to drive because I got so many laps on it, and really looking forward to it. I've had some great success at that track in the NASCAR. In our practice races, I've run really well there in our practice races. So looking forward to next Thursday night.
Didn't you win a practice race there, Ken? Am I thinking correctly?
That would be one of them I did, yes.
Well, maybe you can carry that on next week. So
a little bit of luck and some bad breaks by some of the other guys. And I'm hoping to contend for a top 5, but we'll see what happens.
I got faith in you. So everybody, next week, like I said, I will not be here. Ken will be running the race for us. Everything's set up. But if you have any questions, you have anything, Ken's the person to reach out to. You can just ask him questions in Discord if there's anything you need. If you haven't joined Discord, you should join it because that's kind of where we're getting together and chatting. It's where we do our interviews. That's where you see a lot of conversations happen throughout the week. So I encourage you to join that. Also, don't forget, we will have the race recap video that I'll be making tomorrow. So the race recap video as well as this podcast will both be up tomorrow, which is Friday. Ken, any last words?
Well, just want to wish the people who are down in the Florida area, Chris Salowich, one of them, I wish everybody safety down there. I know some of it's passed through some of those areas down there. We know it's coming up to the Carolinas and all that, so we're wishing all those people safe passage the next couple days and hope everything goes okay for you people over on the East Coast and all that. Up in cheese heaven up here in Wisconsin, we don't have to worry about the hurricanes. We just got the cold and snow up here to worry about. I'll take that over your wet weather over there. So good. Just be safe, everyone out there. Looking forward to it and looking forward to next Thursday night.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks everyone for joining the race tonight. It was a lot of fun, and we will see everyone next week. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Y'all come back now. You hear?
You're still here. It's over. Go home.